All right, folks, this is Nick here with NP Gunsmith and Firearms again in Lewiston, New York. Like I said, this was a two-parter. This Marlin Model 1894 in 44 Magnum. I'm going to show you how to reassemble it now. I cleaned up all my parts, inspected everything. Nothing is damaged. So with that being said, let's get this back together, shall we? All right. First thing we're going to do, we're going to put our magazine follower back in. Make sure I got all my parts. Follower, spring. Let me get my screw out of here. End cap screw. Okay. So we will put our follower in. And make sure we get all of our screws. There we go. This is for our front band, that screw there. So, that being said, oh yes. When you go to reassemble this, make sure you install cap on the right end so you don't have to fidget with it so much. Let's go ahead and put this back together, shall we? Get our magazine follower, magazine spring in place. This is the fun part. You don't want to launch anything across the room. Get our end cap. Get the screw in place. Thread that in real quick. Nothing will go bye-bye. Nothing better than locating pieces once you launch them. Tighten down the end cap screw. Get our front band screw back in place. This is the easiest step. All right, now back to the main part. All right, you get this part. You want to go back together. Say, where do I start? We're just going to go work backwards. Okay, we're going to put in our side gate. Then we're going to put in our lifter. All my parts have been cleaned. I have a coat of oil on all of them. Okay, everything's oiled up. So, I'm going to change out my bit. There's a little groove in here that this is going to set in. Get it in place. Line up your holes. And get started. Okay, now we are going to put in our lifter right here. Okay, everything just goes in the reverse way you took it out. So your lifter, if you look inside your receiver, you will see this groove, this cutout right here. Your lifter goes right into that. Okay, so you can't really get that in the wrong spot. Set it up in there. Make it so you can see your holes. You'll be able to see right through the receiver. Get your screw in place and snug her down. Okay. Tighten that screw down. Now your lifter is in place. Okay. Alright, so with our lift gate in place, we're going to finish assembling. We're going to put in our block here. Okay, like I said, it can only really go one way. If you take a look at it when you had it apart, you have one really narrow side and one really fat side. It can only go in one direction. So slide that into place. I got oil in there. I'm going to work the oil in just a little bit. Okay, so now with that being in, we can go ahead and drop in our trigger with the lower portion of the receiver. So when you get the hammer, our hammer in with the lower portion of the receiver with the trigger, so if you look at the hammer, you have your hole where your screw is going to go. There is a notch there for your sear. Okay, so when you got to put this in, you're going to end up manipulating the trigger. You're going to push it all the way back, almost like you're pulling the trigger. Fire it, and you'll see your sear here on the trigger, and you have to get that all lined into place so you can line up your holes inside the receiver so you can get your screw through there. Takes a little bit, not much. You'll see, not too bad. So I slide my hammer into place. Okay, and now I will take the lower portion of my receiver and get it in there. We'll get everything started. Pull back on my hammer. Get that going. You have to get everything in place. This is where a rubber mallet will assist you pretty good, because you got to be able to tap your lower receiver forward just a bit. You need that all the way forward. Okay, so now I can continue to line up my holes here. There we go. I just kind of hold everything in place. Get your screw going. When I tighten these down, I will snug up this one to keep it loose, and I will get in the other two screws into the lower portion of the receiver, and then I will tighten everything down. You don't want to tighten one down and then try to get the other ones in there in case you need to, jockey it around a little bit so you can get all your screws in without, stripping a thread. It's almost there. Now I don't have to hold the hammer anymore, or the trigger. Alright, so that one is in there loosely. Now let's get in the other two. This is where I said one's short, one's long. We will put in the bottom screw first. That is our longer screw. It's right here. Stick that into place. Get that started. Flip it on to the opposite side we're working on. Take our shorter screw. Get that in place. Now we can tighten up these lower receiver portion here. Snug everything down. Boom. Now we will put in our ejector. This bad boy right here. Remember I said it's going to go in the hole in there. So we're going to set it in place. Okay. Then we're going to take our bolt. We're going to slide our bolt in. Going to stick a little bit more oil on here. Okay. Slide our bolt in. Now we're going to put our lever in place. Okay. Pretty simple. We're going to have our bolt out. We're going to reverse the way we put it back, the way we took it apart. Okay. Going to just like so. Now we will take our lever screw, get that in place. The reason I did this last, because you got to get that hammer back all the way up. And on these Marlins, there's a safety here, so when the lever's open or not there, you have to actually force it in so you can pull the trigger so you can get the hammer to come up. It's a lot easier this way with the lever in. Let the lever do the work for you. Pull the trigger, and we can get our hammer back up. Now we'll take our mainspring and our bar, like so. I will show you how to do this on camera. Okay. Get your mainspring in place. The back of your mainspring bar right there is going to end up going in to that hole right there. Okay. So get it in place. Get your bar into that groove. Okay. It's a lot difficult trying to do this on the camera here for you. It's in that groove, and you hold it down and put it in place like so. Okay. Get it centered in there. Now everything works. Now we can put our stock back on. Okay. Screw. Voila. And now I can take this out. I will run some dummy rounds through it to verify its operation. Then I will take it out to the range and test fire it and make sure everything is working as it should. But that is, in a nutshell, how you take apart and reassemble the Marlin Model 1894 receiver. This one is a 44 Magnum. They should be pretty much all the same when it comes to the Marlins. So different makes, different manufacturers depending on when you bought it. From 2007 to 2020, could be made by Remington. After 2020, it's going to be made by Ruger. prior to 2007, it was still a Marlin firearm. I believe the Ruger-made ones are better quality than the ones made by Remington. That's just my opinion. I've seen more problems with the ones made by Remington than I have with anything else. But that is it. Hopefully this was helpful for some of you out there. I enjoy my lever actions. I'm a big fan of them. So I love working on these things. So any questions, comments, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help you. Again, it's Nick from NP Gunsmith and Firearms in Lewiston, New York. Phone number is 716-481-7302. Thank you.